Okay, so I'm associated with the System Engineering and Engineering Management departments. So just to add one thing to my research interest, I'm also interested in financial technology, which I started working on in recent years. And I'm also the admission coordinator for our FinTech program. In this activity, I would like to provide you a very brief introduction to FinTech, and hopefully you'll be convinced that this is really important for our society, and you may have some motivations to consider studying it as your major in university. Okay, so what is FinTech? So FinTech is really the short name. The full name is financial technology. Okay, we simply call it FinTech. FinTech, in one sentence, is really about using new technology to innovate financial services. Okay, so we're going to use new technology to improve financial services, to provide new types of financial services. So today, I would like to introduce this field through several applications. I guess most of you have heard of these things before. One thing is Epayments, and then the second one is online borrowing and lending, and the next is virtual banks, and next is Roboadvisors. The last one is cryptocurrencies. Okay. So these are 5 very typical FinTech applications. I would like to let you know what they are and discuss their advantages. And hopefully I can explain why FinTech matters to our society. First, we are going to look at Epayments. I'm pretty sure some of you have already used these payment apps like Apple Pay, Alipay Hong Kong, WeChat Pay, and PayMe. Okay? There are other digital payment apps in Hong Kong as well. I didn't list them here, but you can, I mean, if you're interested, more payment apps online. So let me take the Apple Pay as an example. So you can include as many cards as you would like in your Apple e-wallet. Okay, you could put several credit cards there, debit card there, and if you just go to a shop, you don't need to bring your physical cards. Okay, just bring your phone. Okay. And then you can use your phone to pay for the things you buy. Okay, so this is definitely very convenient. You don't have to carry physical cards with you. Okay, you don't need a physical wallet, just a phone. Okay, and if you use Alipay Hong Kong, basically you just open the app and then there's going to be a payment QR code. Okay, and the merchants can scan the payment QR codes, and the money will be deducted from your accounts or from the credit cards that is linked to your Alipay. Okay, so we see that these digital payment apps definitely make our life more convenient. You don't have to carry physical wallets. You don't need cash. You don't need physical cards. You just carry your phone with you. Okay, and one phone basically solves every problem. So convenience is really one big advantage. But at the same time, these apps also make our life more secure. So think about an unfortunate situation. Let's say you lose your wallet. Okay, like several cards are in this wallet. You lose the wallet, you lose these cards, and you have to call the banks to cancel these cards. Okay. And let's say if these cards are from different banks, then you have to call different banks, and this is really inconvenient. But what if you just use use Apple Pay, and let's say you lose your iPhone? Well, you can simply deactivate your iPhone. You don't have to cancel the cards stored on the iPhone. You just can deactivate your Apple ID, and then these cards cannot be used anymore. Okay, so so in this way, you don't need to cancel these cards. They cannot be used anymore from your iPhone, but you can still use them. Okay, I mean you can use them physically, or you can, let's say you can get a new iPhone, get a new Apple ID, you can use them again. Okay. So this really makes things more secure. And also for payment apps like Alipay, WeChat Pay, okay, they have ways to ensure the security of the system. I would like to share with you one personal story. So I traveled frequently to America for conferences, and I typically don't carry much cash with me. So I typically pay by credit cards. But there was one time I ate in a restaurant in some small city in America. Typically in America, when you pay by credit cards, the waiter or waitress would take it away to pay for the transaction. So they are not going to swipe the card in front of you, okay? So they're going to take the card away to their counter and swipe the cards. And somehow my credit card information was probably taken down by the waiter in that restaurant, and then they later sold it to somebody else. So basically, after a week, I got like fraudulent transactions for my credit cards. Okay, so apparently somebody got my credit card credentials, and they use my cards for online shopping. So I received very large amount of transactions, but these were like fraudulent transactions. Okay, but eventually, of course, these transactions were canceled. But what I'm telling you is that even if you use credit card, you think, oh, typically it's safe, but sometimes it's not. Okay, but if you can use these e-payment apps, I think they're much safer. Okay, so the next application I would like to discuss is about online borrowing and lending. I'm not sure if you guys have applied for loans before. Maybe you are too young to do that. But if you have such a need, you can find many online loan application service provided by banks and credit service companies. Okay, so let's say for example, you go to Hang Seng Bank's website, and then you can easily find a link for you to apply for a loan online. Okay, so online borrowing and lending is really very common. Okay, but these traditional lenders, these banks or these credit service companies, are unwilling to make loans to individuals with low income or no established credit history, and also to those micro and small businesses. Okay, so these people really have difficulty in getting loans from lenders. Okay, but for these let's say micro and small businesses, getting a loan is crucial for their survival. Okay, if they don't get loans, they can't continue their business. Okay, so they need loans. And apparently these traditional lenders are not willing to serve these people because they don't really have much information about them. So in the lending business, there is this problem of asymmetric information. That is, the lender knows less about the borrower than the borrowers themselves. Okay, so if you want to borrow money, you know yourself, of course, you know yourself, okay? But the bank may not know about you, okay? They have sometimes have very little information about you, okay? And because they have little information, they are unwilling to lend money to you. I don't know you. I think you are very risky, so let's not do business with you, okay? So this is a typical situation for those individuals with low income or no established credit history, and also those micro and small businesses. But these people do really need money to continue their life, their businesses, and so on. So they are actually a very important parts to the whole economy. Okay, so you cannot say we just ignore them, ignore their financial needs. So nowadays, technology provides us a solution to promote financial inclusion. That means to make financing available for these low-income individuals and also those micro and small businesses. Okay, and here I give one example, which is about Ant Group. Okay, Ant Group is mainly controlled by Alibaba. Okay, the chairman is Jack Ma. I guess most of you guys know about it. Okay, so Alibaba, of course, is a technology company. It has lots of data. Okay, so you can call it a data-rich company. Okay, and Ant Group is doing this online lending business based on their big data. For individuals, they can use the purchase records of these individuals from the online shopping platform Taobao. Okay, so nowadays many people shop online from Taobao. So for those individuals, you have actually you can have lots of data from them, and also sometimes people just pay their utility bills. Okay. Through the Alipay app. Okay, so from Alipay app, Ant Group is also able to obtain transaction payment records for things like utility bills for these individuals. For those micro and small businesses, Ant Group can get their operational data collected from digital channels. Nowadays, many merchants allow customers to pay by Alipay, right? So, so if a customer pays by Alipay, then Ant Group knows immediately like a revenue generated from that sale for this company. Okay. So in general, Ant Group has many ways to collect data through its digital channels. So it has really big data, and it can apply machine learning to analyze the big data, to develop models for loan approval and monitoring. Okay. So this is what really makes Ant Group, a data-rich company, different from the conventional lenders, the traditional banks, the credit service companies. Okay, so the traditional lenders avoid those low-income individuals and micro small businesses, but Ant Group is able to serve them based on the big data they have collected from their digital channels, and also the new technology, the new data analytics methods from machine learning. The third application that I would like to discuss is virtual banks. So in Hong Kong now we have 8 virtual banks already, and probably more companies, FinTech companies will apply for virtual bank licenses in the near future. So we already have 8 virtual banks in Hong Kong. And many of these banks are partnered with technology companies. Like Ant Bank is okay. Well, I think it's controlled by Alibaba and another local institution in Hong Kong. Okay, so apparently it has a technology backgrounds. Okay, like Lingfei Bank, I think. Jingdong is behind it. Jingdong is another e-commerce giant from China, and like WeLab is basically a group of technology guys created this bank. Okay, so a lot of them are from a technology backgrounds. And you may ask, why do we need these virtual banks? Okay. So first of all, these virtual banks purely operate online. They don't have any physical locations. So if you want to open an account, you just download their app and just do it through the app. It can just, it can be very efficient. Okay, it probably only takes several minutes to open an account with them. It's going to be very easy. And if you want to deposit money, you want to withdraw money, transfer money, apply for loans. Okay, you always do in the app. Okay, so everything is done online. There's no physical branches. And having no physical branches means one thing: these banks can operate at a much lower cost. If you talk to bankers, they will tell you that typically the operational cost of running a branch per year in Hong Kong is on the order of millions. Okay, so if you get rid of a branch, you save millions of Hong Kong dollars per year. Okay, from the for the operational cost, because these banks' operational cost is much lower. They are able to charge lower fees and offer better loan rates. So because their cost is lower, they can charge you less. Okay, and of course this is good for customers. And another advantage of virtual banks is that they can exploit big data and artificial intelligence to offer highly customized services. This is some feature that traditional banks don't have, although they're trying to catch up. Okay? So these virtual banks, they can offer you highly customized services. So they know what you really want, okay? And they can customize their service for you. Okay, so it will suit your needs. This is the so-called customer-centric approach. The traditional banks are doing business in a product-centric way. Okay, they always design products and then they try to sell it. But for these virtual banks, they are putting their customers' needs in the first place. They're trying to do business with you by considering what you really need. The next application is about Robo advisory. So before I talk about this one, let me do a polling, and then we will see the result. So here I provide you with 3 funds. So let's suppose you invest $1,000 at the beginning. Okay, so your investment balance in each of these 3 funds is $1,000. Okay, and we look at the performance of these funds over a period of I think this is over 10 years. Okay, so we have the red one, the blue one, and the orange one. The balance of the red fund grows steadily, okay, and it grows at a faster rate than the orange fund. And orange fund also grows steadily, but it grows at a much slower rate. For the blue fund performance, you see that the balance fluctuates a lot. Okay, so initially it goes up, but then it declines and even drops below 1,000, and it continues to decline. It stays below 1,000 for quite a long time. Okay, even touched almost 500. But after some years, it comes back. Okay, and after over 10 years, it stood above 1,500. Okay. So if you are looking at the performances of these 3 funds, my question for you guys is, which fund do you choose? Let me launch the poll now. Okay, in the interest of time, let me end the poll now. And most of you have voted. So if you, okay, I need to share the results with you. Okay. Yeah, if you look at the results, 73% of the audience would like to choose the red one, 18% pick the blue one, and only 10% pick the orange one. I mean, if you have not invested in financial markets before, it's not surprising that you would pick the red one, okay? But unfortunately, if you pick the red one, you are going to lose all of your money or most of it. Why is this the case? Because the red one is really a scam. Okay, it's really a scam. It's a Ponzi scheme. So what is a Ponzi scheme? So this scheme was initiated by some guy called Ponzi, and later, I mean, many other people just copied what he did, and we just call this type of things as Ponzi schemes. They are frauds. Okay, so what they're trying to do is this: they promise you a high return. Okay, you invest in my fund, I'm going to, let's say, give you 15% return next year. Okay, so 15% is very high. Okay, but the fund, after it collects money from investors, will not really make any real investment. It doesn't really have an opportunity to make 15% return per year. It doesn't have that opportunity. So what it does to repay the investors next year is that they are going to get more investors to the scheme. Okay, so they are going to use high interest rates to attract more investors to the scheme next year. So the new investors' money will be used to pay off the old investors' money. Okay, so they're going to roll this over and over. Okay, and of course, with this large pool of money, they're going to take some away. Okay, they're going to use the money for their own purposes. Okay, so this is really a fraud. Okay, they're not really making any real investment. They cannot really have the opportunity to realize the high return they promised. Okay. And of course, this rolling over cannot continue forever. Okay, you can continue for like several years because the fund shows very good initial performance. More investors are attracted to the funds. They put money in the fund, and then the fund has new money coming in to make it continue. But this won't continue forever. Okay, so at some time points, the fraud is uncovered, and then the investors will scramble to withdraw their money from the fund, and then of course the fund collapses. Okay, and the fund's initiator would be charged and sent to prison. Okay, so here, the red one is really providing investors with a very steady and high return, which is not realistic in financial markets. If you have invested in financial markets before, you will know that if you want to get high return, you also have to bear high risk. What does high risk mean? If you look at the blue one, it's quite risky because you see lots of fluctuations. Okay, so in financial markets, you don't really get a curve like the red one. Okay, the red one basically has no risk, but it grows very fast. It provides you with high returns. But this is not realistic in financial markets. So through this poll, I would like to just bring up one point, which is that investing requires knowledge about financial markets. If you are a rookie, you should be very careful because it's not as simple as you imagine. Okay, so this is where Robo-advisors come in. If you don't really know anything about financial markets, but you want to invest in financial markets, then you could use the service of a Robo-advisor. What is a Robo-advisor? It's basically some advisory service provided by some investment companies. Okay, so they are going to basically let you download their app, and in the app, you can tell the investment company what is your investment preference, like what return you are looking for and how much risk you can bear, what is your investment horizon, anything that you're particularly interested in, for example, gold or Bitcoin or stocks, and anything you don't really want to invest. Okay, so you can basically tell your investment needs to the robo-advisor, and so the robo-advisor makes a recommendation to you based on their big data and artificial intelligence techniques. And so they are going to apply AI to analyze big data and try to come up with a solution for you. So this is what robo-advisors do. Of course, advisory services are not really new in the financial world. If you go to a bank, you want financial investment advice, you can always get served if you are wealthy enough. Okay, these traditional banks, they're not really interested in serving people with low wills. Okay, but if you're wealthy enough, I mean, they would be very interested to serve you. So these human advisors, I mean, can be costly because there are some hidden fees that some people don't realize. Okay, and sometimes their advice is probably not really good. Okay, so once I walk into the Hanson branch on the CUHK campus, yeah, I was interested in making some investments, and then a manager came to me and he was trying to advise me buying some options. Okay, I'm not sure if you guys understand options, but it's basically a very risky financial product. Okay, so it's the payoff of the option basically. I mean, if it's a stock option, depends on the underlying stock. Okay, if the stock goes up and the option pays you some money, like that. Okay, so he was trying to selling me things like that. You know, I'm teaching this topic to university students. I know this a lot. I mean, I understand a lot of I mean, I understand the details about options, the markets, and that guy was selling options to me, and he was explaining it in a wrong way actually. So from his explanation, I can see that he didn't really understand options correctly. I mean, he had some misunderstandings about it. So you see that, I mean, even if you can be served by human advisors, they may not be good enough. Okay, they may not be good enough. They may actually advise you in a wrong way. So don't always trust, you know, human financial advisors. So what I'm saying is basically robo-advisors can be less biased. Okay, they are based on big data, based on algorithms. They can be more objective. Potentially they could serve you better. And also they charge much lower fees compared to human advisors. The fee is much lower, and sometimes you can even get free advice. Okay, so now I will talk about the last application, which is about cryptocurrency. So nowadays we have many cryptocurrencies with Bitcoin as a quintessential example. There are other cryptocurrencies. All of these cryptocurrencies are developed based on the blockchain technology. Okay, this is definitely a new technology. And what is a blockchain? A blockchain is a decentralized database. Okay, I guess many of you know what a database is, but the traditional database is centralized. Okay, there's one central authority that controls the database. But a blockchain is really a decentralized one. There is no central authority involved. Okay, so it consists of a network of computers, very, very large network of computers. Okay. And if a transaction is entered into the network, then the network has to reach consensus before this transaction can be confirmed. Okay. So how it works is like people from different places in the world are doing mining to solve some cryptography problems. Okay, to verify the transaction. Okay, the one who solves the problem first will actually get some reward. Okay? Some Bitcoin will be created and be rewarded to the one who first solves the problem. So this provides incentives for these people to work hard to solve these problems, to verify the transactions. So transaction is only confirmed if the network reaches consensus. That is, most of these computers verify the transaction. Okay, so this is not like the traditional database, which is centralized. The central authority verifies the transaction. Okay, but now it's really a distributed system. We need the consensus from the network, from most of the people on the network to verify this transaction. Okay? Once it is verified and confirmed, it will be clustered with other transactions to form a block. And then this block will be added to a chain, to the end of the chain. So that's why we call this blockchain. It's really a chain of blocks. There are some advantages of using blockchain. Number one is that the fees are much lower. If the transaction is verified by a central authority, the fee can be much higher. You think about credit cards transactions. Okay, so these the credit card payments are verified by a central authority. Okay, the card issuer may not charge you money, but they're probably going to charge the merchant some money, some fees for that. Okay. So if you use blockchain, there are lower fees. And the second advantage is that the system is more secure. We often hear stories about some centralized database being breached. For example, in Hong Kong, the database of Cathay Pacific was breached, and a significant amount of customer information was lost and stolen. But if you use blockchain, the system has a very low probability of being hacked. Okay, so because this probability is so tiny, you can even ignore it. So you can even say that the system is unhackable. Okay, although in reality there's a very small probability of hacking the system, but that's probably just so small that you can ignore it. So in terms of security, the system is definitely more secure. And also it is transparent. Okay, so nowadays people demand more transparency. Okay, if it's done by a central authority, there's definitely no transparency. Okay, only the central authority knows what happens. But for the blockchain, if you are in this network, you can view all the transactions, so it's very transparent. Okay, so this is the price history of Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created by some guy with a pen name, Satoshi. It's a Japanese pen name, but nobody know who or she actually is. So it started at a low value, but now if you look at the value of 1 unit of Bitcoin in terms of Hong Kong dollars, wow, you'll be astounded. It's 269,000 Hong Kong dollars nowadays for 1 unit of Bitcoin. Okay, that's really a lot of money. Okay, so if you hold just 1 Bitcoin in the early days and from the early days until today, then you are going to make a lot of money. So this is basically the rate of return. Okay, this is the rate of return. So why does a Bitcoin price has gone up a lot. One reason is that it has been accepted as the medium of exchange in more and more places. Okay, so a currency only has value if it can be used to exchange for other things. It can serve as a medium of exchange. In the early days, Bitcoin was not that widely accepted, but in recent years, more and more places start to accept Bitcoins for transactions. Okay, so this recognition as a medium of exchange definitely helped push up its value. And also, the price is driven up a lot by investor sentiment. In the last year, 2020, which was a very tough year for the whole world because the pandemic hits and still going on, the United States government printed a lot of money to save the country out of the crisis. They just printed a lot of money, and what does that mean? That means your money is not worth that much. Okay, the U.S. dollars depreciate, and the Hong Kong dollar is pegged to U.S. dollars. It will also depreciate. So your money is not worth that much. For Bitcoin, it is issued at a very specific rate, and that rate is halved after a certain number of years. So basically, the issuance of Bitcoin is under strict control. Okay, it's not like the government can print a lot of money they want. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, so the Bitcoin can only be produced at a relatively low rate, and that rate is reduced. So after some time, basically, although that is really a distant future, so the Bitcoin supply will stabilize. Okay, there will be no more new Bitcoins. The supply will just stabilize. Okay? And because of this, investors have faith in the value of Bitcoin because there simply can't be too many Bitcoins, but there could be too many US dollars. Okay, I think I still have 10 minutes left for my lecture. So I've done for the first part, which I introduced several FinTech applications. And now I want to provide you more information about our FinTech program at CUHK. So our program is called Bachelor of Engineering in Financial Technology. So it's an engineering program. We have been running this program for over 3 years, and it is the first of its kind in Hong Kong. And why do we offer this program? Because Hong Kong is an international financial center, and technology is really important. It will definitely shape the future. Okay? So the combination of finance and tech is really the way to go. And that's why we created this program. And there is very, very strong needs of FinTech talents in Hong Kong. Okay, so we do think that this program has a lot of educational value. We can nurture a lot of talents to serve Hong Kong in the FinTech area. A main feature of our program is that we have a good balance of theory and practice. So we have many professors who are very good theorists. And we also have a professor practice in FinTech, Professor C.K. Chen. He is the former Chief Information Officer of HSBC Asia Pacific. Okay, so he's the head at HSBC overseeing technology developments in the bank. Okay, so he's really a FinTech expert. So he's teaching in our program, advising students, liaising with the industry, helping our students getting internships and jobs. Okay, so he's really helpful. He's contributing a lot to our program. And also we have this FinTech practicum, which is basically offers weekly seminars to students. These seminars are given by industry speakers, not given by university professors, but industry speakers. we invite industry guys to talk about latest development in the industry, and let our students know what the industry needs, so that they get better prepared for their future career. About our curriculum, so we start by teaching students the fundamentals, math. Okay, this is really important. Okay, math, we have calculus, linear algebra, discrete math, and probability. Another important part of fundamental is computing. Okay, we teach students several programming languages and also computational methods in finance. We also teach students IT infrastructure, namely database, blockchain, and financial infrastructure specifically. Okay, and also we have courses from finance, economics, and law. These courses are offered by the business school, the economics departments, and the law school. Okay. And we also offer electives on data sciences and operations research. Okay, there's data sciences include machine learning, big data, statistics, these things. And operations research is also about some methodologies like optimization, okay, stochastic modeling and simulation. Okay. So we believe that by offering these methodologies to our students, they are able to better solve fintech problems. Okay? And of course, throughout the courses, we're going to talk about financial applications. We're going to apply the theory and methods we have learned from these courses to investment problems, pricing problems, risk management problems, and also for financial innovation. For internships, our program do have a very good records. We have built very strong ties with the local industry for internships. And here is a list of recent internships. You can see Goldman Sachs, which is a well-known investment bank. The Haitong Securities is a big securities firm. DBS, HSBC, Hang Seng, and these are banks. Hong Kong MA, this is the regulator. Okay. Zhong'an Insurance, Zhong'an also has a virtual bank now, and Wealth Management companies, Deloitte is consulting, DataGo is a technology firm. Lattice is also a technology firm. Okay. And we also encourage our students to go on academic exchanges. There are lots of opportunities for academic exchanges overseas, and then our students went to university in Canada, in America, and also Singapore for exchanges in the past. We're also proud that our students won awards from FinTech competitions. For example, like this one, we have an outstanding team awards in the Bank of East Asia 100 FinTech challenges back in 2019. Our program also offers a dual degree program with Peking University, and a double degree option in FinTech and IBBA. Okay, because of time, I cannot really present the detail for you. So basically, the dual degree program with Peking U is that you study at CUHK you study at Peking University for the first 2 years, and then you come back to CUHK for the last 2 years. And after 4 years, you're going to get a Bachelor of Degree in Financial Math from Peking U and a Bachelor of Engineering degree in Financial Technology from CUHK. So you get 2 degrees in 4 years. And the second double degree option is that you're admitted to FinTech and then you apply to business school for the IBBA program. Typically, students spend 5 years finishing 2 degrees if they pursue this option. For career prospects, I think our students are well suited for positions in many types of financial and insurance companies. Okay, they can work definitely in those conventional banks, insurance companies, but they can also work in those new types of firms. Okay, so like those FinTech startups, and also there's lots of new opportunities in technology firms, and also from the regulator. Okay, so like I I think at least, I mean, several students in our program interned with Hong Kong MA before. Okay, so Hong Kong MA is definitely interested in recruiting talents from FinTech. On this slide, I just want to show you the JUPA submission requirements. We have requirements on several subjects. So the minimum level, okay, for math is 4, for the others is 3, okay. Why do we emphasize math? Because it is really important for us, okay. And also we put a higher weight on math, it's 1.75. For the electives, we prefer BAFS economics, ICT, those science subjects, and also M1 and M2. Okay. For M1 and M2, we are going to assign the highest weight, which is 1.75. For the other preferred subjects, the weight would be 1.5. For the JUPA's admission statistic and interview, so every year our quota is about 30. Okay. And if you look at the best 5 total score, the median admission score is 26 or 27 over the years. There's some variation, but most of the time it's 26 or 27. And we do have interviews. We are going to schedule interviews for JUPA's applicants for late May or early June. And only Band A students will be selected for interview. If you have a non-JUPA's background, you're also welcome to apply to our program, and we accept a variety of qualifications. You can find more information from the OAF website. Okay, so time is running out, so I have to stop here and take questions.
So thank you, Professor Lee, for the inspiring lecture and introducing us to Financial Technology Program. So it is now the time for question and answer section. You may type your questions in the Q&A box. So we have received quite a lot of questions. So the first one we would like to ask Professor Lee, what can be the potential career opportunities after graduate from Financial Technology Program?
Okay, that's definitely a very great question. So let me give you some examples. For example, for some students, they go to the regulator. They work for Hong Kong MA, so they're basically working in Hong Kong MA on the regulation side. Okay, and then you can also go to traditional banks like Hang Seng Bank, HSBC. All of these conventional banks are interested in developing fintech. They are developing fintech products, and definitely they need talents in this area. You can choose to work on the engineering sides, but if you prefer, you can also choose to work on the like sales side. Okay, so you have more on communication with customers and things like that. But I would say if you graduate from our program, if you do sales, you have a unique advantage. Because you really understand fintech, what it is about. Okay, and also you can work for like investment firms. Okay, like these firms, they want to do a robo advisory, and they need guys from fintech. Okay, and also like if those investment banks, they want to do risk management nowadays, they really need data science. Okay, they want to do big data, AI. Okay, they need guys from fintech as well. Okay, so I would say there are lots of opportunities, and you can even create your own company. Okay, so there are lots of fintech startups in Hong Kong nowadays. Fintech is really a very good field for entrepreneurship. Okay, so I hope I answered the first question.
Yes, thank you, Professor Lee. And we have got the second question. What are the attractive features of your program in your sense?
So yeah, okay. So I think I already mentioned one feature, that is a good balance of theory and practice. I think the second feature is that our program is very flexible. Besides the core requirements, we have actually a long list of electives for our students to choose. So the electives include courses from the business school. So these are more finance-oriented courses, business courses. And also, we have many courses offered by the engineering school, for example, by the computer science department, by the information engineering departments, on AI techniques, on cryptography, network security, things like this. So if you want to go, focus more on tech, there are also lots of courses for you to choose from. So what I'm saying is, it's very flexible. So you can choose courses based on your future career planning. If you want to do more, be more business, then you can take those courses offered by the business school. If you want to go for more technology, you can take those courses offered by the engineering school. Okay.
So thank you for your answer. And we have also received an interesting questions about what is the difference of AI and FinTech?
Oh, okay, I see. Well, apparently, AI is, I would say, it's really you can say it's really technology. Okay, AI, you can think of it as technology. AI actually has many aspects. Hardware is one aspect, and then software, like you develop algorithms. Okay, so all of these belong to AI. And for FinTech, we really need the help of AI. Okay? We need the help of AI to innovate financial services. So I would say FinTech is really a very good application of AI. It focuses more on the application side. So CUHK also offers the AI program. If you are more interested in studying the technology without really be concerned about a specific application, then you should go to the AI program. But let's say you want to focus more on FinTech. You really want to learn the financial applications of these new technologies, and then you should come to FinTech.